Back. I have Professor Ogadioha back. Now, Prof, I guess you can hear me now. I was talking about the decision by the Monetary Policy Committee to retain all rates. How did it come to you considering the fundamentals we face as a country?
Yeah, good afternoon, and thank you for having me here. The Monetary Policy Committee came out with what they were already on, so there was no change. They decided to leave the MPR at 11.5. They decided to leave liquidity ratio at 30, and they decided also to leave the cash reserve ratio at 27.5. Well, but aside this, inflation as at today is 17.33, and our currency rate, that is Naira dollar rate, stands at 379 or 380. You know, these are the indices upon which the economy revolves. Aside this, CBN was also concerned about some basic issues. One of them is the insecurity. And another one is unemployment. Then they were also concerned about the inflation. And when we look at their stand on the monetary policy and look at our economic indices, particularly those areas that affect the nation mostly, you can see that it seems that the direction is not clear. It is not clear in the sense that they themselves were even thinking, if we increase MPR, this is what is going to be. If we decrease, this is what is going to be. And they are also concerned about the inflation rate if the MPR is touched. They are also concerned about the implementations and all of that things surrounding the COVID-19 and its impact on the nation. So we look at it from this angle. We can say that they just decided to stand on where they are so as not to make or commit mistakes. Because there are so many uncertainties surrounding the economy as at today.
Now, let me follow up with that. A lot of talk also around the Forex market. I'd like to get your views also on how we can, I'm worried about that disparity. How can we bridge this gap between the CBN and approved marketplace and the parallel market?
Well, you know, it is mostly the forces of demand and supply that drive most of those things, particularly the issue of the national currency. Nigeria is an importing nation. We export almost nothing. If I say almost nothing, does not mean that a pin or yam cannot go out of Nigeria, but it is an insignificant percentage. And when you bring in almost 90% of your product from abroad, whether it is US or China or UK, when you bring such things from outside, there will be pressure on your national currency. I mean, on the foreign currency. And the only way to bridge this or to reduce the gap is to ensure that there are productivities, that there are economic activities in the country, that industries are working and producing. But industries can only work effectively in a nation when there is security of lives and property. No investor, no genuine investor will come and invest in an environment where he's not sure whether his life will even be safe, let alone the safety of his investment. So this is very, very basic. Then taking it down to another angle, you know that agriculture supplies over 70% of what industries use for productions. Our agriculture is at the highest risk as at today. Farmers cannot go to their farms because the herders have taken over the farms. Apart from the fact that when they produce, the animals we eat up their crops, their lives are also in danger because they kill with the highest weapon, unleash terror on the farmers. They rape their wives. So people are sitting at home. Those people that can go to the farm and feed themselves and also do the supply to the nation for food consumption and for industrial consumption, they are no longer going to farm. So without this, how do you tame the inflation? First of all, the inflation of goods and services, because they are not there. So there will be too many people demanding for such food, for such crops, for such services that are not, but they will not be there. Then, if you cannot even have food to eat, how can you have the one to feed the industries so that the industries, particularly manufacturing industries, will be able to produce? And when they are producing, most of the goods that we import from outside will be sourced here. And when the goods you source from outside are now being sourced here, it reduces the pressure on foreign exchange. So these are basic issues that have to be sorted out. Then you come to security. You hear pronouncement of the security agencies that they are on top of it. They have done this to Boko Haram. They have dismantled them. They have done this and that. But my dear friends, you can see that in the Northeast that produce massively, most of them cannot go to their farms. And if you can't go to your farm, how do you produce? I came back from my village just last week, and there was a meeting of major stakeholders, not only in my area,
yeah,
but most major stakeholders in Enugu State, taking it down to grassroots. And my community was complaining to the government and to some of the political stakeholders that everybody is sitting at home, that they cannot go to their farms.
Can imagine.
Because if they go, they will be raped, their wives will be raped, they themselves will be killed.
All right, I can imagine. I see that passion, Professor Ogwadea, but you know, television is, we don't always have enough time. I really enjoy this conversation. We are going to continue this discussion talking about this MPC thing. It's an ongoing thing. We're going to discuss these resolutions, but for now, this is much time can take. Professor Philly Ogwadea, Professor of Accounting and Finance from Now University. We appreciate your time this afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us on Business Nigeria. We do appreciate this. And we'll continue this discussion. All right.